Leo the gardener, and I've just stuck up my festive fairy lights on my shed. Although I'm going to have to stay up late if I want to see them, because the sun doesn't set till 8:41 in the evening, and well, I like an early night these days, especially after a hard day in the garden, because it is such a crazy busy time for me, because someone stuck a festive season in the middle of my growing season. So on top of all the harvesting and the preserving, I've got strawberries up the wazoo, I've got boysenberries, blackcurrants have just come ripe, I've noticed. I need to harvest those. Gherkins, don't get me started on gherkins. Once those things start, there's no stopping them. There's weeding to do, well, the grass won't stop growing because it won't stop raining. This has been a really miserable spring and early summer, but that's okay. I'm okay with that, because it's going to water my gardens. So on top of all of that ordinary gardening that keeps a gardener busy in the middle of the growing season, I have Christmas. So I've had to squeeze in decorating the tree, all the Christmas parties, the Christmas shopping. I've got to go and bake a pav. I've got to decorate the cake. I'm running a bit late with that one. And so I've got all these other things right when I need to spend the time in the garden. So the weather's a bit iffy today. Oh my gosh, you should have been here yesterday or the day before. Clear, amazing blue sky days with temperatures so hot that you thought you'd melt. Today, it's back to what it's been doing most of the season. Grey, patchy, spot of rain. Although I am grateful for the rain because it's doing wonders to my garden. But come and see what my garden looks like at Christmas time. Come with me, let's go and have a look. I've harvested my early onions and I'm really pleased. They started to get downy mildew, but they were so close to being harvested, I just whipped them out. It's quite a good haul. Where's my big one? That is a magnificent size for an onion. On the whole, the corn is doing really well, but I have had a problem. I have tried unsuccessfully for about a month to get these last ones to germinate. So I've bought some fresh seeds and I've popped them in. So this is unintentional successional planting. But the rest of it, I mean, that is a great crop of corn. I'm really pleased. The rhubarb's bounced back after its dash with the flooding in the spring, although some of it's still not very good. They really don't like wet feet. I pulled out the garlic a few weeks back, and to be honest, the rust had made it such a sorry sight that I'm not going to show you. And I replanted it with my peppers, which were waiting patiently in pots. And I'm really excited because this one here is a paprika, if I've labelled it correctly. So I shall be able to grow my own paprika. And we have apple cucumbers down in there. They're really nice. Oh, there's some more. The gherkins though, oh my gosh, these things won't stop growing. I've already pickled one lot. It looks like I'm going to need to do it again. Great. I replanted my mountain corn because, yeah, that didn't do too well. I think I went too early. The peas just need to hang in for a couple more days because it is a family tradition to shell peas on Christmas Day. So that's what we'll be doing with these. And then that'll be the last of the peas because they don't like growing in hot weather. Where I dug up the last lot of peas, I've put in some broccoli. By the time the broccoli's finished, then I'll be able to plant some autumn peas. Now this I'm really proud of. This is what summer's all about. Fresh tomatoes. Look at these. I've clipped the leaves back, the lower leaves back on the tomatoes quite hard at this point because it is shaping up to be a very wet and humid summer, and I want to keep the airflow good so we don't get blight. It's the last thing you want in your tomatoes is early blight. The rest of the onions due out soon, which is just as well because I need the bed for my melons. I mean, here is one that is fruiting in the pot. So I hate it when you're torn between leaving these in as long as they need to get through or putting things that are waiting in pots in. It's a hard dilemma, but I think I'll leave the onions just a bit longer. Aside from a few more sneaky asparagus spears for Christmas morning breakfast, the asparagus is pretty much done. And so I'll just let the rest of it form into fronds, and they'll stay like that until about June when the fronds go yellow, and then I'll cut them down. All this rain is making the kohlrabi explode. So I think I might do a kohlrabi salad for Christmas Day. The rest of the brassicas are looking fine. It's pretty cool. It's a bed of abundance. The warm, humid weather is making the salad bolt, so I'm constantly having to refresh the garden because no one likes to eat bitter salad. The pumpkins are doing really well, but I really need to lift my game because I'm in a giant pumpkin competition, and one of the other competitors is an Olympian rower, so a chance to beat an Olympian at something. I can't let myself down. The flower bed is actually doing all right in spite of my neglect. Look at the beautiful colour in that. The gooseberries have new life. I think maybe it's time to eat this one. My very first, actually it's not coming off. Okay, well it's not coming off easily, so maybe it's not ready. But they're looking good. There's even flowers on the Chilean guava, so it must like being in its new bed without being swamped by other things. And the blackcurrants have come ripe, and they're everywhere. There's just loads of them, and they're a good size too. I mean, that is a good size for a blackcurrant, and it's delicious. The beetroot's looking good. I like to grow the long ones because they fit in the jar better. And my fennel is looking good. And my fennel likes to hang out with my fennel. The carrots are looking good. They're a bit slow to get started, but I think we have reward. I just need to plant another row in there somewhere. The parsnips are like a wall of green. They are pretty phenomenal, although there's a long way to go before we can eat those because I normally wait for the first frost. The Jersey Benny potatoes have taken a hammering from the wind, so but we're going to eat them on Christmas Day, so it doesn't really matter. The rest of them are looking okay, although my Maris Anchor, it got blight, but the potatoes seem okay. We've been eating them, so it's not too bad. This has been my nightmare. There aren't many beans in this plot. I can't count the number of times I've tried to get some going. Fingers crossed, and I will have something by the end of the season. The shallots are doing what shallots do, which is good. I need to rein in the tomatillos because they are engulfing my okra. And to be honest, I think I like okra more than I like tomatillos. And the eggplant is doing really well. There's flowers, all is well. The popcorn is pretty and looking festive. This was off to a good early start, so hopefully no varmints will steal them before I get them. And the zucchini are producing in abundance. Abundance, although these yellow ones aren't too bad, I don't mind them so much. But I've got 3 zucchini plants. What was I thinking? The birds have been enjoying my leafy greens, which is annoying. But my celeriac looks like it's doing what it's supposed to. And my celery, oh my gosh, that actually looks like proper celery. That's amazing. Normally I grow this horrible spindly looking things that, you know, like this size, and then it gets rust and no one wants to eat that. This is a fine looking celery. Well done me. The yams are looking good, and I'm determined this year to get a decent harvest. And the Jerusalem artichoke are growing tall. As much as, I don't know, the flavour's okay, the garden wouldn't be the same without them, so I'll grow them. I love my sunny fence of sunflowers. Such a bright and magnificent image. I just love them. So that's a summer garden in the middle of a festive season. So most of it's in a place now where I can just lay it down for a while. Hopefully the weeds won't take off too much. There's still a little bit that needs doing in places, so I don't come back to a nightmare after all the silly season finishes. And then there's all the harvesting and processing of things that need doing. So in among decorating the cake and wrapping the gifts and watching Christmas movies with the family, I'll be pickling gherkins and making blackcurrant cordial and things like that. But it's just the nature of it when you garden in the middle of Christmas. So looking back, 2016 has been an interesting one. I released a new book, which I'm very excited about, and all about growing vegetables. And you can get copies of this on Amazon if you want. It's designed not just for our down under garden, but anywhere in the world. And I've also become the New Zealand Gardena brand ambassador. So you may notice videos pop up. The heading will be slightly different with a blue sky background. These are the ones where they've asked me to talk to you about how to use common tools. And I have to say, oh my gosh, I learned something about a hose. You know, some of the connectors have little stoppers in them, so that the flow, when you turn the tap on, it doesn't come running out. I didn't know that. And to get a hose out to my garden, I had 4 hoses connected together. And so I'd buy those cheap connectors and I'd plug them in, and they'd have the valves, but to get them all going in the right way was just a little bit too much for mine. So what I do, and I'm really embarrassed to admit that now, is I just cut the valves off with just the scissors, get in there, so that the flow just went all the way through. Don't tell them. Yeah, so I'm learning about tools, and I'm bringing you with me as I learn about tools. So it's going to be an exciting year, because tools don't come with instructions often unless it's really expensive or really big. So understanding how to use them is really important. So that's going to be great working with Gardena this year. on top of the work I do for as brand ambassador for Yates, which is New Zealand's premier seed company, seed and consumables. So it's exciting to be able to work for them, and I enjoy the work I do. It's been a great year working with them, and I'm looking forward to another year in 2017 doing all of those things. It's been a busy year, and then it hasn't helped that the weather has been awful. The spring has been wet, soggy. It's not been a nice one. So I hold a lot of hope and promise for next year. It's going to be exciting because there's a lot of exciting things to do. But I get to have a restart of the spring in August, which I'll be looking forward to, and I'll be making plans and sharpening things up. But before that, I need to really appreciate the season I'm in. And my garden is in full bloom, and I'm really proud of all I've achieved this year. So thanks so much for watching me this time and all year, and come again in 2017 because, well, there's a lot of things to be done over the next 6 to 8 weeks. I heard someone say the other day there's only 89 days until their spring, which means there's only 89 days left of my summer, which I wasn't pleased to hear about. But there's a lot to be done in those 89 days. So thanks again for watching. Take care, Merry Christmas, and bye-bye. I should put some of these on the pav. Maybe not this one. Christmas isn't Christmas without strawberries. Yum.